What's good? What's good? What the fuck is good? Yeah, man. Hope everybody enjoying their day, being productive, you know, getting shit done like men do. And yeah, man. Y'all see the title, man. We'll jump right into it, man. Cause this is something that has bothered me for some years now. Once I figured it out, right? Cause it's all a game. It's all a game to keep everybody divided and fighting amongst each other. Racism. Is it real or propaganda? My opinion is propaganda. But what is racism? Most of us don't realize that the word racism, right? You do the etymology on the word. See, this is why etymology is so important and why they didn't teach us etymology in public schools. Because the word racism doesn't mean what you've been told or what you think it means. Let's get into it. So, um, of course, most people use the term, right? Um, Usually for a so-called uh, someone of a Caucasoid descent, right? We'll just say it that way. It's usually used as a comeback or a word to shut down someone's actions or statement, right? You're a racist. You're a racist. It's like, okay, because they don't agree with you or they do something or say something that you don't like, that makes them a racist, right? Okay. It's a very loosely used term. When I say loosely, I mean loose than a motherfucker. It's very loosely used, right? But it's used out of context. Now, let's get into it. Racism. What is racism, right? What is it? Not what you think. I don't care about what you think it is. What is it? What is the etymology of the word? I know some of us that ain't even ever heard of etymology, right? It's like I said, they're not going to teach it in school. David Rockefeller said out of his own fucking mouth that he wanted a nation of workers, not thinkers. So they don't want us to think. They don't want us to have free minds, right? Use common sense. Understand what these words really mean. But let's get into it. Because I'm tired of this dumb shit. Now, racism, origin and development. It's a French word, comes from a French word, right? Now we're going back. We're going back and we're coming forward. We're going to the source and then we're bringing it back to now, right? How we got to where we're at. Origin and development, right? French. That's the language. Racism, racing. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But that was in the early 20th century, right? got my, hold on. Let me move some stuff around here. Okay. Roots. All right. The roots. The roots. The root of the word, right? What's the root word in racism? Race. What is a race? A race is a group of people. Okay, that's simple. Now, what's the okay, then you have ism, right? Because it's race ism. What is an ism, right? Ism is a suffix, right? So you have the prefix and you have the suffix. This is basic grammar 101. That's why I say most of us don't even know how to fucking read. Or we read at a fifth grade, sixth grade level and run around want to argue with people and we don't know what the fuck we talking about. So race, right, means a group of people. I want y'all to keep everything I'm saying in mind. I'll put all this shit together in a minute. Ism. What is an ism? Right? Racism, socialism, Islamism, isms. What is an ism? It's a suffix indicating doctrine or system, right? So any ism is either a doctrine or a system, right? So we just broke down what racism means. Race, right? The root means people, and the ism, the suffix, means doctrine or system. So literally, racism means a group doctrine, right? Or a people, a system of people, or a system that a group of people follow. That's what racism is. Where in that definition does it say anything about hatred towards another group of people, which would be a race? Oh, it doesn't. Okay. So, which would mean that, okay, well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So we can bring it to today, right? Early 20th century, 1900s. Emergence of the concept, concept. Peep the verbiage. Emergence of the concept. Okay? So this new concept of racism didn't emerge until the 1900s. How ironic. Modern meaning. This is the modern meaning for racism. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race. What is a race? A group of people based on the belief that one's own race is superior. One's own race, what group of people is superior? Because we read earlier, what is a race? A group of people. So racism, right? We just went over that. What does it mean? Not what you think it means, or the modern meaning, right? It didn't say definition, it said modern meaning, right? But we know the origins. At its origin, it comes from French word, right? And the root is race, which is a group of people, and the suffix ism indicates doctrine or system. Okay. Now, bigotry. That's another one that a lot of people use out of context. Bigotry. Now, hold on, let me move these comments out the way real quick. Okay, bigotry. Origin and development. This word also comes from French, but Old French, right? Comes from the word bigot, which is the definition: a religious hypocrite or suspicious person. Now, this definition is from the 12th century. Okay, Old French. A bigot is a religious hypocrite, right? So that means somebody that, let's say, they claim to be Christian, but they do nothing that Christians do. They claim they Muslim, right? Oh, I'm Islamic. I'm a Muslim. I follow the Torah, whatever, right? But they eat pork every Sunday, like with the religious hypocrite, right? This is what a bigot is. In that definition, it had nothing to do with race, right? Which would be a group of people. Okay. Possible roots. Possible, right? Possible roots. Tony, what's good? Salute. Possible roots. Old English. Okay, let me see. Big, big ultra. Or Germanic origin related to oaths by God. Still dealing with religion, right? Now, 16th century. Used for excessive attachment to a particular group, especially religious, right? So in the 16th century, right? Remember, it originated in the 12th century, Old French. In the 16th century, right? It was used for excessive attachment to a particular group, especially religious. So the word bigotry, right, in its original form, you do the etymology, is dealing with religion and aspects of religion and one's spirituality, right? Now, the modern meaning, I guess it's obstinate, or intolerant, right? Devotion to one's own opinions and prejudices, especially prejudice against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular group. So it's loosely being used in its original context, right? Because nowhere in there did it say anything about religion. And every definition that we read prior, right, going back in time and how this word was used, was dealing with religion. Now, today, racism and bigotry are considered one and the same. They can be used in the same sentence, right? And it makes sense to people when they do it. These are words that I myself have been misusing and using out of context in conversations, in lives, in lectures, right? Because we don't take the time not to look up the definition of words, but look up the etymology of words. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it up here for a minute for all the people coming in. But y'all get a look at that. Would you look at this? Someone come and look at this. Cause I hear that word thrown, especially racism. I hear that shit thrown around a whole. Oh, you're a fucking racist. It's like what? According to the definition of the word, I don't see anything wrong with being a racist. So when somebody calls you a racist, it shouldn't upset you. Because racism is nothing more than a group of people, right? that all agree on the same doctrine or subscribe to the same system. That's what binds them or bonds them together. It's the doctrine, the system, right? That this group of people agree, right? So that's a contract, that's a covenant, that's a community. We all think alike, or we all have the same common goals, or we all eat ice cream on Thursday, whatever the fuck. It's a group of people, right? With the same doctrine or system or systems of doctrine, right? That's true, Tony. But just because we use a word, right, and we wanted to mean something, who decided this though, Tony? Because we didn't have no part in this. This ain't even our fucking language. This ain't our original tongue. So not only do we not know our original tongue, we can't even properly speak the fucking language that we the language that we do speak. And if you do your research on the English language, it was created literally to cast spells for witchcraft, right? It's a bastard tongue. It's a collective of like 3, 4 different languages, right? That make up the English language. So we're not only are we not speaking our native tongue, right? We don't know our native tongue. Then on top with the majority of us, some of us might do, but the majority of us don't. We don't know where we come from, who the fuck we are. We don't know our native tongue, right? And we're speaking a language that's not our own, and we're not even speaking that one right. We out here casting spells every single fucking day. That's why they taught us spelling, right, in grammar school. But you do the etymology on spelling, right? What a spell is. You ain't got to do etymology. You know what a spell is. So we're casting spells with words. But we learned how to do this where? In grammar school. When you do the etymology on the word grammar, it comes from grimoire, which is what witches and warlocks use to cast spells and do incantations. So we're sending our children off for 6 to 8 hours a day to be taught by our oppressors how to cast spells. And they're not even properly being taught how to do that. Samaritan, salute, was good. And we're not even taught how to do that, right? Um, so we just out here emotional as hell and just casting spells. Like TikTok is a great example of that. I do case studies on TikTok. Mental health case studies. That's what I do on TikTok. Because it blows my fucking mind. The topics, the conversations, the statements that people make, the narratives and the perspectives that people have, and how it's like high school. If you don't agree with me, right? Because that's usually when people that you throw these words that's on the screen around, right? These are usually the type of people that if you don't agree with me, if you don't think the way I think, in their mind, you're slow, right? You're special. There's something wrong with you, right? Because you don't think the way I think, which is crazy within itself because usually this would be the same type of person that's claiming that they're oppressed. But that literally is a form of oppression because you expecting me, right? A totally different person, different background, different upbringing, different whatever, right? We're two totally different people. I have a difference of opinion, right? And because I have a difference of opinion, you have an issue with that? That's crazy. You want your opinion, right? Respect it, but you don't respect mine. You want your beliefs, your religion, your whatever, right? You want respect because you give it. That's how it should go. You should want respect because you give it. You can't be disrespectful and expect people to respect you. It don't work like that. This racism shit is like it's in the way. It's propaganda. It was created. It's a psyop. Social engineering. something to keep us divided and to keep us busy, while the motherfuckers that's really running shit and having their way, they can continue to do what the fuck they want to do. The shit is stupid. Like at this point, the shit is dumb, right? Even if you choose not to like me or don't want to deal with me, right, because of my nationality, uh, my melanin, my hair, my voice, whatever the fuck it is, whatever it is about me that you don't like, cool. You don't have to like it. You're not forced to like it, and I'm not gonna feel no type of way because you don't fuck with me. Cool. You don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. Like, we could just leave it at that. But that don't mean we got to be disrespectful with each other. You go to work every day and be around people that you can't fucking stand, right? But you're still respectful. You still smile. Hey, how you doing? You speaking it, and you keep it fucking moving. I ain't saying you got to be buddy buddy best friends. Go get a beer to buy a happy hour when you clock out. No, but what I'm saying is you can not a certain person or a certain group of people, right? Because that's what a race is, a group of people. You cannot like or care for, right? Okay, but you can still be respectful, because if they're not doing anything as a collective to disrespect you, right, or cause harm to you or to injure you, then what the fuck is the problem? No, Tony, I'm just, because a lot of people use these words out of context, so we think these words mean what they mean because of the modern meaning, right? Not the modern definition, but the modern meaning. And words don't change. That's the thing. Like, in the beginning was the word was with God, and the word was God. The word never changes. Therefore, the meaning never changes, right? Or the definition. What was the intent behind the creation of the word? When someone took those vowels and consonants or whatever and put them together and created this fucking word, what was the intent behind it? What was the energy? What was the purpose behind it? Creating this word, right? What does it mean? Everything has a meaning. Everything has a purpose. So what does it mean? If I create a word, I create a saying, and I tell you what it means, and then 100 years from now, somebody decides, okay, well, nah, that ain't what he meant. He meant this. Prime example: Christianity is a great example of that. That Bible has been chopped up so many damn times that it's not even worth even opening up. It's not. If you want true Christianity, you need to study Gnosticism. Modern day Bible is generations of men chopping shit up, taking things out, switching stuff around to fit their narrative. That's what I'm talking about, Tony. Because we got to get back. That's why etymology is important, because the definition of the word doesn't change. It don't matter how the masses use it. When you speak that word, there's a certain frequency that your vocal cords vibrate, right? Your vocal cord, you create a certain sound, right? When you speak certain words, the influx of your vocal cords vibrating, it creates a certain vibration that puts out a certain frequency. That never fucking changes. So I don't care what in your mind or in somebody else's mind, or people try to change the word, or what, oh, well, it means this, or oh, it don't fucking matter, because it's the same frequency. So the same energy that was being put out in the universe when people were saying the word back in the 1600s is the same fucking energy right now today when people use it. Regardless of what we want to claim that the meaning of what it means, it's still the same word, and it still has the same impact or the same power when it comes to spelling and grammar. That's all I'm saying. We gotta we gotta realize what we're saying, what frequencies we putting out into the universe, and what effect that we're causing. You know, just people in our community, loved ones, family members. Because you could say something to somebody, and because I'm famous for this shit. I'll say something to somebody, right, and it's out of love, but they'll they will interpret it or try to explain it to me as, well, it's not really what you saying, it's how you saying, or it's your delivery, you're so harsh with it. No, it's not that. It's the fact that the energy, right, that is coming off of the words that I'm saying, and I'm saying the motherfuckers with so much conviction and so much energy, right, that you can't receive it. It's too much because you're weak. You can't take that energy. It's too much for you, right? It's overwhelming. Because if you, I'm a man, I'm not about to talk to you like a fucking. So, then, bitch, you need to be paying me $100 an hour if you want a therapy session, right? But if you want the truth, I got you. Because that's what a lot of motherfuckers be wanting. They want a therapy session. I'm not a therapist. Now, you want my opinion on something? You want my advice? You want to know how I would handle a situation? I got you. But me sitting down and with a notepad and some glasses and a pen, and you telling me all your problems and all your bad mistakes in life and all this other bullshit, and then thinking that, you know, what I'm supposed to, like, no, I can't. You have to fix that. You fucked up. You made a mistake. You need to fix it. What the fuck? I'm not you. Now, I don't knock people that go see therapists or try to get mental health services or whatever. I'm not knocking that. Do what you got to do, right? But at the end of the day, it's this ego, and like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, it's just like everybody's just all of a sudden a fucking genius. Everybody, like motherfuckers didn't barely make it out of high school. And I'm just speaking of people I know personally. And it's like you try to have conversations with them. Or even if they did make it out of high school, they could have graduated with honors. They could have went to college and got, graduated with honors and got their PhD and all that. Dumb as a box of rocks. Dumb as fuck. Like, just idiots. Educated idiots. You start questioning them, asking them certain things. They don't know what the fuck you talking about. But then the ego kicks in. Because you can't talk to me like this. You don't have a doctorate. What the fuck does that piece of paper, Matt? You stupid motherfucker. You think because you have a piece of paper with your name on it from some institution, right? That somehow that I'm supposed to what? I don't get it. Do y'all not know that people pay for degrees? You can buy a degree. It's to the point that's like, come on, y'all. Like the things that we used to think were important or like status symbols, they don't even matter no more. That takes the value away from the piece of paper, from the degree. If I could just go buy it, that's like, oh, I want a six pack. Well, if I could just go buy a six pack, it takes away it takes away from the man that actually went in the gym and actually worked out, actually put the time in to get his six pack, right? People don't look at him the same because they like, well, shit, he went through all that. Fuck that. Because this is how people think. It's not about how you think. It's about how the masses think. And most people are lazy. Most people are weak. Most people are insecure, and most people just want what they want quick. They don't want to wait. They don't want to put in no work. They don't want to put in no effort. They just want what they want. So if there was a way, which I think it is at this point, 2026, where you can have some type of procedure or surgery or something to where you can have six pack abs instead of having to go to the fucking gym, right, and actually work out and eat right to get those that six pack naturally, right? People gonna do that shit. Cause like if I can get the same result and I don't got to do the work, I got the money. Fuck the work. I could have abs next week. They're gonna do it. Nobody wants to do the work. So this racism thing, like at the end of the day, I want everybody to go study their origins. So you can truly, truly see for yourself where all this shit comes from. If you're melanated, go study the Moors, right? The Moorish Empire. When we ruled Spain, Europe, right? Go study that if you're melanated. If you're of Caucasoid descent, study the Spanish Inquisition, right? Study Spain. Go do some research on Spain and the origins of Spain, right? Argentina. Look into Argentina, the Argentinians. Do some research on them, right? Go back as far as you can go. Um, it's a few others, but yeah, just do your genealogy. Just do your homework, right? Do your homework. It's things that we don't know, and it's things that we do know that aren't true. Because I'm gonna put it to you like this: we know his story, but we don't know her story. We know his story, but we don't know her story. It's a lot of history that we weren't told. It's a lot of things that we were lied to about. It's a lot of things that were switched around and manipulated and changed and erased and whitewashed. And it's a lot of bullshit that went down, right? But at the end of the fucking day, one thing that me and my people are not is victims. We got to stop playing this victim card. We are not no fucking victims at all. We was out here doing some shit. That's why I said go study the Moorish Empire. It's the reason why they never taught us about this shit in school. You done heard about it. You done heard about Ottomans. You done heard about I don't know if they ever talked about the Tartarians, but we done heard about the Ottoman Empire. They taught us about that in school. If you went to public school, now, if you went to private school, monastery school, um, any school system outside of the public school system, you might have heard about some of these empires or some of these people or some of these eras in time. But I know for a fact, if you went to public school, right, they ain't muttered the word more. Samurai, salute, salute. They wouldn't mutter it. Why? Because God forbid that you see images of yourself running shit, running the whole fucking planet. Pirates of the Caribbean, those were Moors. Learn your ancestry, learn your history. They try to divide us across the water. Nah, we were seafaring people. Go look it up. Because once you know the truth about all this shit, the words don't hit the same, right? The hatred and the bullshit, the propaganda, it won't have the same effect that it had before. Because you see everything for what it is. Y'all let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Having a little technical difficulties over here. Okay, bet. All right, let me go back here. Exactly, Tony. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Samurai. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's all I'm saying, Tony. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, bro. It's like it's the frequencies never change, which is basically the energy. When you create something, right? Whatever intent or purpose or whatever energy was in that when you created it, right? It stays. It stays. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what was the and I just like to know shit like that, Tony. You know what I'm saying? I want to know. And Samurai could tell you, Drake could tell you, like tell y'all, like, and he probably get annoyed with, but I gotta know. I've been that way since a child. I gotta know. You can't just tell me some shit. It's gotta make sense to me. If it don't make sense, then I can't fuck with it. I can't. I can try, but I ain't gonna be able to do it. It ain't gonna last long. I gotta know. Why is the world the way it is? Why does everybody hate our fucking guts? Why is everybody so jealous? It's jealousy. It's jealousy. Jealousy and projection. But racism in itself today, in the modern terms of it, is propaganda, right? Because um the way it's used, right? And the people that it's used against is propaganda. Because the ones that's for we all falling for this shit at the end of the day. We all falling for it. Because I'm gonna put it to you like this, and why I say it's propaganda. And I would love for somebody to prove me wrong. Before integration, we had our own schools, our own hospitals, our own grocery stores. We had nuclear families, mom, dad, children, right? This was the norm in our community. We had clean communities, right? Doctors, lawyers. We had our own businesses, our own. We ran our communities. There were no foreigners in our communities. And if they were not the majority. They were the minority. And we were thriving. Look this shit up. Noble Drew Ali caused the Great Depression, right? A lot of people don't even know who the fuck Noble Drew Ali is. And CM Bay, they caused the Great Depression. I ain't gonna go too deep into this shit because I'm trying to stay on topic. But they caused the Great Depression. An act that they took in 1932 at that conference in Cuba caused the Great Depression. I'm giving y'all keywords to go look this shit up, right? I ain't gonna go into depth on it. Caused the Great Depression, right? In 1933. The reason that the U.S. was able to maintain and get out of that, right? Not recession, depression, right? Was because of us. We was driving Cadillacs and we was living it up in 1930s. We had money. We had resources, right? We had land. We were having shit like we've always had shit. This slavery narrative is also racist. It's propaganda. I've done my genealogy. Samurai can attest to this. He's my first cousin. We know where we come from. And it ain't nowhere near Africa. Our origins are rooted right here in the Carolinas. And we got the documents to prove it. Furthermore, y'all, if the United States just celebrated 250 years of independence, right, from Great Britain, how did slavery happen 400 years ago? If this country only existed 250 years, right, this government, 250, who, how was supposedly my ancestors slaves? When the word slave itself is short for Slavanian, the Slavs, which were so-called Europeans, not melanated people. And also, if we descendants from slaves, why does every melanated person that I know and that had ever met in my life in the US, right, that's from the US, why do all of their families have land? Majority in the South. But we all descend from slaves. So what was it like when we got freed? It was just because we never got the 40 acres and the mule, right? And even if you claim that we did get it, guess what? Everybody I know got more than 40 acres. I'm talking about hundreds, some thousands of acres of land still in their family's possession, right? Jay, you stupid. But nah, seriously though. Seriously though. Oh, I'm gonna drop the bomb. I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm gonna drop it for you, Jay. If the US is only 250 years old, how was slavery over 400 years ago? That's in my opinion, I think that that's a something that I don't. It's like people want to argue about certain shit. And it's like, how did that go over your head? How did that go over your head? If you are melanated and you were raised to believe that you descend from you're a descendant of a slave, right? A person who was brought here from another country in captivity and forced into cheap labor and servitude, right? And then was freed, emancipated. Which this is why I say etymology is important, right? When you look up the word emancipated, right? It has nothing to do with being freed, right? So we weren't freed, right? What does emancipation mean? What is a proclamation? It was a change in jurisdiction, right? That was it. We went from one jurisdiction to another, right? One stewardship to another, one trust to another. So it's basically like you being sold, like, hey, this is my slave. All right, here, you can have him now. Give me $200. Now it's your slave. That's what happened. But we were never slaves. We have always been POWs, prisoners of war. This is why we can't be deported. To kill everything I'm saying, deport me. They can't. You have never heard of a so-called black person, African American, Negro, all the misnomers over the generations that they've called us, right? Negro, colored, black, African American, Afro American, all this shit, right? They reclassify us every 10 years. Why? But you've never heard of anyone supposedly of slave descent being sent back to Africa. But I thought that's where we from. You deporting everybody the fuck else. Why you ain't deporting us? Because we not from no fucking Africa. We from right here. And all the proof, and this is the crazy part, people would sit up and argue with me about this, right? Instead of doing the research. Because I think in their heart, they know that it makes sense. The things that I say make sense, but it's not my words. All this shit is documented. The US has kept records of everything. There's census records going all the way back to the 1800s. There's all this documentation, right? Birth records, death records, marriage certificates, driver's license, all this documentation that is public record. Anybody can go look this shit up, right? And we choose to do nothing. We choose to sit around and argue and argue semantics. You're racist. It's like, shut the fuck up. You're an idiot. We had more, right, during segregation than we've ever had when we integrated. Integration didn't help us, it helped them. They want to have this narrative that they, we were just poor and broke and struggling, and we wanted to live, in the white community so bad, and just we just want to get along, and just no. This shit was an agenda. It was forced on us. Martin Luther King was a CIA agent. Why do you think they push him so hard? Because what was his message? Oh, peace. We need to integrate. We need to get him a piece of what we got. That's why when he found out how much damage he had done and what he was really doing. In that last speech, he said, I feel that I have led my people into a burning house. Because he did. He did. And our dumbasses fell for it. That's what the civil rights movement was all about. Civil right. Fuck civil rights? We had human rights. Go look up civil rights and what civil rights are. And then I want you to compare them to human rights. Damn, I wish I'd have had that slide. I should have pulled that slide up, y'all. No, Tony. What I'm saying is, Croc, salute, salute. What I'm saying is, Tony, racism is not the issue. They It's propaganda because people are trying to use racism as a cover for what it truly really is, right? And the people that they're using as pawns, right, don't even realize they're pawns. So racism is not the issue, right? It's the issue that's presented to us. It's the issue that's given to us. Oh, if it wasn't for racism, then we would no. Racism is what's given to us to argue and fight and bicker over, right? But that's not the root of the problem. See, when you dealing with a weed, right? You just pluck it out the ground. What happens? Eventually, it's gonna grow back because you didn't get the root. You got to get to the root. Racism ain't the root. The root of the problem is the programming. But who's the programmer? These are the questions that I think people get scared to ask, or they don't want to go down them rabbit holes because they get dark in them motherfuckers. And it's a wind coming from in that motherfucker. It's whatever light you got, it's blowing that candle out. So you gonna be in that bitch hearing shit. It's gonna be pitch black. You better have a flashlight or something. And you keep going that rabbit hole long enough, that the batteries on that flashlight gonna go out. So you can either be a little bitch, be scared, and turn around and run back out. It's a long way to get up out that motherfucker. You done came a long way down the rabbit hole. That flashlight go out, what you gonna do? But that's what I'm talking about, Tony. The human rights went away when we chose civil rights. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You have no human rights no more because you're not human. You're three-fifths a human being. You're three-fifths a human being. What is your religion and what is your nationality? You don't have a nationality. That's why you're three-fifths a human being. You're incomplete. They tricked us into giving up human rights for civil rights. What is civil? Civics. What is that? No, Tony, we didn't just wake up and say fuck it. We were convinced. The civil rights movement, Martin Luther King, all these people were agents. Okay, they're pushing an agenda and it worked. We fell for it and we integrated. That's what I'm telling you now. Everybody was since everyone hates our fucking guts, let's take it back to the old days. Let's segregate again and then see if everybody can stand on their own. Because you're seeing right now in real time this with the FBA people or whatever, they doing this thing where they're not shopping with the agents because of what happened with supposedly what happened with the young man that lost his life, right? And it's working so much so that it's affected the economy in South Korea and in other countries. Y'all can go look it up. That's how much spending power we have. And not only is that how much spending power we have, that's how much power we have, where everybody around the world is literally eating off of us. And we're allowing it to happen. And when we say no, they starve, which means what? They have become fully dependent on our ignorance, right? For financial gain. And this is everybody. Every nation is doing it. I keep trying to tell, like TikTok, I keep trying to tell, who runs TikTok? Everything on that TikTok shop you can get on Shein, you can get on Temu, because it's the same shit. China runs TikTok. That's why they said if you go on live, you just scroll through the lives, right? You see all these Chinese people selling shit, fake ass jewelry, fucking cheap ass, all this cheap ass bullshit that they got, products that they making over there. You can't speak no truth on there, right? You say anything out of the programming, right? They shutting your page down. You're getting flagged. No, but that's what I'm saying, Tony. Because you're 3/5 of a human, of a man, right? That was the claim. That's why they saying that you need civil rights because you're 3/5 a human being. It wasn't after. This is just when they came out in the public talking about it. That's why I said all this shit is an agenda. All of it. All of it's an agenda. It's all to get our birthright and inheritance. That's what it's all about. We don't know who the fuck we are. We don't know where we come from, right? But they do. And as long as they can keep us in that state, the and I a lot of people laugh at me when I say this, Tony. But the best movie to break down, one of the best movies, well, two. I use these references a lot on my lives. The Matrix and The Lion King, in my opinion, are two of the best movies to explain how we got to where we at, right? And what happened to us. The Matrix and The Lion King. Because Simba represents us as a nation of people. Neo represents us as a nation of people. We forgot who we are. The whole movie, the whole Matrix, we kept saying, free your mind, 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 free your mind. The whole movie. The whole first Matrix movie was about Neo letting go, fully letting go of the Matrix. And at the moment when he fully let go is when all his powers, when he could do anything. Because that was in the moment when his mind was freed. At the end of the movie, when that was that symbolic rebirth, when he, the agent shot him, he died, and Trinity said whatever, he came back to life, shit, and he was in the hallway, and they shot all them bullets. He was like, no. He just put his hand out, no. Oh, Tony think I'm scared. Tony funny as shit. Tony, the Venetians, Tony. What you know about the Venetians, Tony? And they melanated. What you know about the Huguenots, the Moors, the French that came over here? Everybody thinking these were Europeans that came over here and were fighting us. No, the original British, the Brutish, the Bretons. They were Moors. They were melanated. We've been fighting us, our own people. They look like us, but they ain't us. These dirty ass Moors. The Venetians, the ones that built Venice. They were Moors. They were melanated. There's a book you can look up. This book is thousands of dollars, and I know why. And once you see what's in the book, right, you see some of the pictures in the book, you'll see why it's thousands of dollars now too. About over 10 years ago, it was about 300 some dollars. I should have bought it back then. It's called Russian Icons. Go look up some of the imagery in that book. Russian Icons. They couldn't get when it was during the Renaissance period. They couldn't whitewash everything, right? They didn't get all the way up into Russia and Ukraine, all up in them areas, parts of Germany. You still got churches and temples and shit like that that still have the original imagery up that hasn't been tampered with. But that's what I'm saying though, Tony. It's a certain image, right, that comes in our minds. Think about from childhood, right? When we were in school and you were learning about these different empires or these different nations and their origins and different figures throughout history and where they come from, right? What was Napoleon's nationality? Um what's the other one doing all the sex trafficking? They killed him down in the I went to his supposed grave, so I can't even Columbus. Christopher Columbus. All what was his nationality, right? What was his origin? Like these are things that we like. It's programming because when you think about these certain people, you think about a certain archetype, right, or a um, certain genetic phenotype that comes to mind, right? Because of, let's say, maybe the pictures or the imagery that was presented to us in books, McGraw-Hill, right? In books, in movies, cartoons. The imagery is what threw us off because we're not getting proper depictions of what these people really look like when there's plenty pictures and literature and scholarship, right, that we can research that will let you know what these people look like and what their phenotypes were. So this is what I mean when I say we think we even if you know history, right? Do you know it correctly? Because the history that I thought I knew, I come to find out, I'm like, I had this shit all jacked up. And then when I had the right people in the right places with the right phenotypes and the right, you see what I'm saying? Then all this shit started to make sense. Now I could put this shit together. Now this shit makes sense. Okay, I get it now. It's been us against us. And the other side just used, right, the Caucasoids to push their agenda. And they also interbred with them. So that's the ones that you're seeing now that are in power. They got their 1%. A lot of these people, I'm telling y'all, a lot of these so-called Europeans today, if they do their ancestry, right, and they go back, they might go back to somebody darker than me. A lot of them are passing, what they call passing. A lot of them. So the hidden hand is brown, is black, right? The hidden hand, or some people call it the black hand. That's the boule. They got many names, right? But these are a group of dirty Moors. I'm gonna just call them that. These are a group of dirty Moors who are running everything. They're the ones that are behind the scene pulling the strings. We in the age of Aquarius. The Bible said no stone will be unturned, and it won't. All will be revealed. There's no more secrets. I was on a live last week fucking with Freemasons and shit. Like this shit is over. They was mad as hell. They kicked me off the live. I'm like, for what? That's how you know it's over. Why are Freemasons on having a TikTok live talking about Freemasonry? I'm gonna say that one more time. Why the fuck are Freemasons a secret fraternal order having a live stream, okay, a public live stream on TikTok about Freemasonry? That lets you know right there it's over. You got secret societies that have now come to the public. Why? I guess they ain't got the same, you know what I mean? When you ain't nobody trying to join like they used, but what's going on? You trying to keep your name relevant? You trying to get some new recruits? Like, what the fuck is going on? This is weird. A secret society having a public discussion about a secret society. This is why I be like, man, I just this shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy. But nah, Tony. So, but what is an African though, Tony? That's the continent. You talking about the trans-Saharan slave trade? Because if you talking about the transatlantic slave trade, yes, there were um so-called Africans, right, that were brought over here on slave ships, but it wasn't our ancestors, and they weren't brought over here in the millions. Another thing to that whole out of Africa theory makes no fucking sense to me. I want everybody to put on their thinking caps, right? Now, you don't have to be a sailor. You don't have to. I think what is it? Is it aeronautics? I don't know if that's the sea or the air, but anyway, you don't have to be a seafaring person, right, to overstand. This is common sense, right? To come from the west coast of Africa to the east coast or to the islands or whatever, out of Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, whatever, to get anywhere on this side, right? You got to cross the ocean. I can't think of what that ocean is right now. That ocean you got to cross, coming from west coast of Africa to the Americas, right? So there's only a certain amount of time throughout the year that you can actually safely make that journey, right? You got hurricane season, you got certain parts of the year or certain months the tide is and then you have a natural um what is it called, water, the way the water flows and the current flows, right? So you got to think they didn't have motorboats back then, right? So they got sailboats, they sailing, they're using the wind. They might have oars, they got to y'all know. Y'all know how, what I'm saying, type of boats that they had, right? Or the technology that was available at that time. So you telling me that they got, let's keep it on a small scale. Let's say they got 200 captives, right? In the hull of this ship. If you got all these people in the hull of the ship, that means the hull of the ship is where you would normally keep your supplies, right? So you don't have as much room for supplies, right? Rations, right? As you would on a normal voyage, right? With just the crew. So you got the crew, right? And you got to think a vessel big enough. So salute. You need a vessel big enough, right? To hold all the whole 200 plus your crew members, right? Not only that, you have to have enough space on that vessel, right? For enough rations, right? Food and water for your captives and for your crew. Because it makes no sense. This whole Amistad shit, this makes no fucking sense. They was throwing our people over the water and alive. Why would you throw precious cargo over the off the shit? Like that makes no fucking sense. We are risking our lives to take these motherfuckers from the west coast of Africa to America, and we getting paid, right? So make that make sense to me. Why you would throw cargo? I can see if a motherfucker died, they were sick, you don't want them to affect other people, or they dead, you don't want, you know what I'm saying, and you throwing them up. That makes sense. But to take alive, healthy men and women and children and toss them off the boat for whatever reason makes no fucking sense. When the reason that they're on the fucking boat is to make money. So we want to get if we got 200, we left Africa with 200. The ideal thing would be to pull up in Americas with 200 so we can get all our money, right? Because we're trying to get money. This is about money. But anyway, back to the journey. You telling me that it's only a certain amount of time throughout the year, right, where you can even safely make that fucking journey, right? But you telling me you had millions upon millions that were brought over in a span of what? A few years? It makes no sense. And then where are the ships? So I'm gonna tell you the slaves that was brought over. It was the Slavs, the Slovenians. That's where the word slave comes from. Everything that they try to say is us is really them. They flipped it. So you want to talk about racism? That's racism. Because race is what? A group of people, and an ism is what? Those people share what? The same doctrine, right? What is the religious doctrine that that this group of people came with? Christianity. And everywhere where Christianity went, bloodshed followed. Rape, robbery, and murder came as well. So were there slaves or were there so-called Africans, right, that were taken from Africa and brought here? Yes. But not at the record numbers that they're claiming. And that doesn't mean that every melanated person here on this continent is from Africa. We got to do more research. If we get to a point where we think we know every fucking thing because we read a couple fucking books and we don't know shit, and then when a person questions us, then we want to get in our feelings and shit. Get out your ego. You'll never know it all. As much as I fucking know, I'll never know everything. I'll never fully figure this shit out. It's impossible. It'll take me lifetimes. I'm always trying to learn something new. Always trying to figure some shit out. The word slave comes from the word Slav, which is short for Slovenian. That's not us. We were never slaves. We were POW, prisoners of war. None of this shit makes sense. Why? For example, and I'm gonna just keep it on me. I had proof that one generation. Now, this my own grandfather told me this. So I don't know if this is some shit that they took oaths. They just went sworn to secrecy to keep their life, or so they do. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that part out because I'm like, there's no way in hell that I could figure this shit out and that you didn't know this or that you was lied to and you didn't look it up. My grandfather told me out of his own mouth, right, that his grandfather was it his great grandfather or grandfather. Cicero was his father, so it would be his grandfather was a slave, right? Needham, that was his name, Needham. Needham was a slave. This is the story I was told, right? He had a son. He had multiple sons, but he had a son named Cicero, right? Cicero had a son named Eugene. Eugene had a son named Jeff. Jeff had me, right? So that ain't that far back. My grandfather was born in 1918. He was old as shit. He was born before the Great Depression. All right. So he ain't that far from supposed slavery, right? So it ain't that many generations back. I don't know why people want to act like it's 400 years ago, and it wasn't that long ago. Now, explain to me how I have a census record. My father had it, and I flipped out on his. I apologize after, but I was pissed the fuck off. He had a census. I think it was a 19. Shit, I can't even fucking remember what year it was. It was early 1900s though, right? A census record. Um, I want to say like 1920 something census record because my grandfather was on it, right? But he was a baby. So it was after 1918 because that's the year he was born, but it was before the Great Depression. Um, Now on this census, it has Cicero. Now, mind you, Cicero keep up with the my brain, y'all. the generations, right? Keep up with the generations. So we got Needham. Needham was supposedly a slave, right? Needham was freed. He got his freedom, and the master supposedly gave him some land. That didn't make no fucking sense to me. Even as a child, I'm like, what? If I had you free labor and slavery, like, why the fuck would I? And I'm being forced to let's set you free. Why the fuck would I give you anything? Not give you no fucking land. Like, what sense does that make? If anything, I'm gonna keep the shit, and then my children gonna inherit it. But that's neither here nor there. Now, Needham was supposedly a slave, right? So we got Cicero. Cicero is one generation, right, out of slavery. Okay, now keep that in mind. Cicero's father was a slave, supposedly. Keep that in mind, y'all. Cicero's father was a slave. Y'all gonna be like, wow, this shit's crazy. Just hear me out. On this census, Cicero is a grown ass man. He has a wife, he has children. Which one of those children is what? Eugene, my grandfather, my father's father. Now, Cicero could read, Cicero could write, right? He could spell. He was an educated man. Cicero had businesses. Did you hear the S on the end of that? I didn't say a business. Cicero had businesses, okay? And he also had land. He had property. He had assets. Now, can anybody in the chat please explain to me, because this shit blows my fucking mind. I just can't wrap my mind around. How the fuck can one generation out of slavery, this man acquires all of this, right? You married, you got multiple children, you got businesses, you got land, you got assets, you got all this shit. The first generation out of slavery. Now you fast forward all the way down to us, right? My generation. We ain't got shit. We don't have no land. We don't have no assets. We have no knowledge of who we are, where we come from. We don't have no financial literacy. We don't know shit. We out here starting from ground fucking zero. Now y'all make that make sense. Make that make sense. If slavery, right? If he was the first one out of slavery, can't read, can't write, don't know shit, ain't got shit, and he got to start from ground zero, right? He getting it out the mud, as they say, literally. But in one lifetime, he was able to acquire all that. And you telling me today, with all the resources, with all the technology, with all the all the things that exist today, right, that we can capitalize off and use, right, to put ourselves in position, we ain't got shit. So how do we go from that to where we are today? Because each generation is supposed to grow, right? It's supposed to get better. It's supposed to gain. I passed my son down everything that was given to me. He adds to it. He passes down his. That's what each generation is supposed to gain more wealth, right? That's why it's called generational wealth. You're supposed to build it over the generations, right? And you can't lose wealth. It takes generations to lose wealth. It ain't like one generation could just blow all the money. No, it ain't enough for him to blow it all, and he can't blow it all. You have your trust set up. He can only take out a certain amount for a certain amount of periods or whatever. He can't sell nothing. He can only use it. A usufruct. Look that word up. Usufruct. But anyway, that's where I'm at with it, y'all. It's like that makes no sense to me. It makes no sense at all. It makes no fucking sense at all. It's like how he the first generation out of slavery, right? But he had all of the he had like what? Then you go down to his son, Eugene. Eugene went to the army. Eugene, he was a carpenter. He liked to be outside. He liked to work with his hands, shit like that. But he didn't have financial literacy. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He struggled, you know what I'm saying, taking care and providing for his family. He did the best, right? They made it. They survived. They lived. But then you have that generation, which would be my father's generation, his siblings, right? They have children. So it's like the generations are getting worse. How do we go from fresh out of slavery, balling, to now struggling like a motherfucker? I'm gonna tell you what happened, Tony. The same. The same thing that happened in your family, the same thing that happened in everybody's family, Tony. You have these boule ass, dirty ass Moors, right? These motherfuckers that's in the family, these college educated ass niggas that's in the family, right? Who know all this shit that I'm like, and how do I know this to be true, Tony? Because I've been around certain people, right? I've taken pictures with certain people. Um, I'm associated with certain people, certain groups, certain organizations. Um, I know certain things. I make certain statements, right? And if you know, you know, right? So it's like speaking in code to where everyone else doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but they do. And next thing I know, they blocking me on social media. They unfriending me, right? They acting weird. You go to family events and shit. You know, they acting weird and funny around your shit because they're uncomfortable. Because they know that I know what they know, and they know I know that they a piece of shit, and it makes them uncomfortable because they know what they've done is wrong, and they know what they've done is unforgivable. There's someone in your family, Tony. You can look this as public record. You can look this shit the fuck up. There's someone in your family, Tony, who has uh the family name, right? And has either stewardship or they are a trustee to the estate, right? Now, whoever that person is, Tony, I don't know. I know who it is in my family who was selling off land and leasing land and doing this and doing that. I know who it was because I have the documentation, I have the paperwork. So motherfucker can say whatever the fuck they want. This your signature, motherfucker. Or you trying to say somebody forged this shit? That's your John Hancock on this piece of paper. Oh no, I didn't. I'm telling you, Tony, that's what happened. That too, quit. That too. And it's a whole bunch of other acts that was before that. But what is an act? They're telling you right then and there, it's not law. It's an act. What the fuck is an act? It's not real. They're acting. They're pretending to be government. They're not government. And we keep falling for this shit. Anything with act at the end is telling you what the fuck it is. This goes back to my whole point of this live, y'all. Why I say this racism real is a propaganda. Because the act is propaganda. It's not real. What is the act? What does the word act mean? Because all these motherfuckers that's pushing this shit, these politicians, they're nothing more than actors. They're acting. So any document that they put out and it has act on the end, it's bullshit. That's why I said look up the word usufruct quick, because that goes along with what you're talking about. Squatters' rights and all that shit, right? This is all tools for them to use to steal our birthright and inheritance. It's all about us. That's why everybody hates our fucking guts. They can't fucking stand us because we are the heirs to the most vast estate, unclaimed estate in the fucking history of humanity. I just told you what it is. We are the living proof. Tony, how much land your people got, Tony? Quick, how much land your people got? We gonna nip this shit. Fuck what I'm talking about. Cause this is every person I've asked. They got, oh yeah, we got like 300 acres in Georgia. Well, which your family got land? Yeah, we got. I don't know who control it, who own it, but yeah, I think we got like 1,000 acres in Florida in the Everglades. Every melanated person I know, every last one of them, right, in their family, right, in their genealogy, there's land, there's resources, right. So how can you own something, right, when you're a descendant of a slave? How can you own something here, especially land, and you come from Africa? First of all, land can't be owned any fucking way. Nor can it be sold. It could be held, right, in trust. You can live on it. You can use it, but you can't sell it because it's not yours. Furthermore, how can a foreigner sell something that don't belong to them? I ain't gonna get too far gone into that, y'all, but that's what I'm saying, Tony. But how? How could now I'm about to fuck your head up, y'all. Tony, how can they sell it without your consent? How can family land? Listen to what I'm telling you, Tony. Because that land is literally your birthright, your inheritance. Whoever the matriarch was in your family, right? Your grandma, your great grandma, whoever, that's who's supposed to divvy up everything, right? So even if that land was sold, it was supposed to be agreed upon by everybody in the family. There was supposed to be a family meeting, and there's supposed to be a vote taken. All in favor say aye, all of the nay say nay, right? And then you have a collective vote, and everybody votes. Okay, so the majority rules. We're gonna go ahead and sell this 50 acres, and we're gonna do this, do that. That's how it's supposed to be done, Tony. But when's the last time you've ever had a family meeting about anything being sold or anything about property? Exactly, Tony. Exactly. I'm putting that on the fucking screen. I did not pay him to say that, right? What did I just say was my situation with my family? Tony said, I don't even know. I don't know either, Tony. I know some of what was done, but in its entirety, how much we had, how much was sold, how much was lost, I couldn't tell you, right? But I don't know either. Tony said when my grandpa passed, it got divided up between the relatives, and most of them sold for pennies on the dollar. Tony, that is my story. That's most stories with every melanated person that I've met and got cool with, right? To where they tell me their personal business and they family, you know what I'm saying, drama, shit like that. And I get to meet their parents and their siblings and their grandparents. It always comes up, hey man, y'all, where y'all originally from? Ain't y'all from? Oh yeah, we from Georgia. We originally from Georgia. Oh yeah, yeah. Y'all people ain't got no land still down there. Yeah, I think so, but I don't know. It's the same story with every family, Tony. The same story with every fucking family. I ain't done, y'all. What Quick got to say about it? My dad's side don't have land. They sold it. What is the? It's not even funny, y'all. It's really sad. What is the commonality here? What are we seeing consistently? My story. These are three total different men from different states, different backgrounds, different tribes, different names, all that shit, and we all have the same fucking story. My dad's side don't have land. They sold it. My dad sold the land. My my mom, I'm guessing he said my mom's mother side still have land, right? So on the matriarchal side, they still got some land, right? Some acreage. And this is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I say fuck racism. We got bigger fish to fry. We got way bigger fish to fry. Because we got racism within ourselves, within our own families. Because what did we just do? I need to, do you need to see it? Do I need to pull it back up? Right? Because what is race? Race is a group of people. What is an ism? A doctrine or a system, right? So the group doctrine It's not the same in the entire family, right? So we got racism even within our families, and we have bigotry within our families, because all these niggas is hypocrites. So they're all bigots. Because the original old French, the original definition of a bigot, right, was a religious hypocrite or a superstitious person. Y'all better wake the fuck up, man. This is why we're in the conditions that we in. This is why we in the conditions we in. We are so quick to just give away. Think about how retarded we are. And I went on my whole family, y'all. I went on my whole fucking family. Y'all dumb as fuck. How in the fuck? I'm gonna break this shit down for y'all. We are so fucking stupid as a nation of people. The one resource that is more valuable than anything on this fucking planet is land ownership, right? Having control of the land, allodial title to land, the highest claim to land. Okay? When you own acreage, I don't think we people understand this. You can look when you go to the tax assessor's office and you know um you get the land records, right? And you look at the acreage and it's not just the actual land, right? It's what's beneath it. So it's all the acreage that you see up top, right, on the land, everything under it and everything above it. So if a bird flies onto your property, that is your bird now. If a deer walks onto your property line, that is your fucking deer now, right? Any wildlife, any vegetation, any trees, any water sources, if a river runs through your fucking property, that section of the river, that shit is yours. So it's all yours, it's all your resources, right? So we choose to give that up, right? What do? We sell it. Sell it to who? Who are we selling to? And for what? Think about how dumb we are. We have land, we have resources, we have everything we already fucking need. We sell that and give it up to do what? To go live in the big city. I won't go live in the big city and work a job and get a paycheck and live in an apartment. You goofy motherfucker. We can be in the country, okay, shooting our guns, fucking our wives, making a million fucking babies, okay, have the freedom to do as we fucking please, living off the land, farming. There are no farmers. There's nobody in agriculture that I know personally that's doing bad financially. Nobody. Every state I've been to, anybody that's in the farming, that's in the agriculture, they are doing well for themselves. You know the people that I see struggling? You know I see the people that look like me with these black rings around their eyes because they don't get no fucking sleep? The motherfuckers that live in the city. They want to live the fast life. Overpaying for everything. Overworking themselves. Stressed the fuck out. For what? For what? To be around a whole bunch of insecure, dumbass motherfuckers that don't like each other anyway because they don't like their fucking self? You can have that city shit. The American dream is literally that. It's a fucking dream. Wake the fuck up. It ain't even a dream no more. It's a fucking nightmare. And it's not our dream. That's why it's an American dream. We're the Americans. We don't need to dream it. We're living it. It's the foreigners, the foreign occupiers, the ones that came over here to rob, rape, and pillage, and that have been doing it since they got here. They the ones that got off the boat. We didn't get off no fucking boats. We know that. Why? Because what did we just prove just now? All us got land. All us come from. This shit is crazy, y'all. It's crazy because it's like everybody got the same story. Oh yeah, we got land here. Oh, yeah, we had land in there. What happened to it? Oh, they sold it. Why? For what? To do what? Why would you ever sell land? That is the stupidest fucking thing you can do. But that's what happens when you have generations later of ignorant offspring that have been dumbed down to the point where as long as their basic carnal needs are met, they're happy. Long as I can bust a nut, fill my fucking stomach, and got a place to sleep, I'm good. Long as I got a couple bands, I can go to strip club. Long as I can buy some jewelry, I can do this, I can do that. I can live hood fabulous, hood rich. I'm happy with that. I don't want to be out in the country. It's boring out there. Ain't nothing to do. It's bugs. It's this. It's that. Shut your bitch ass up. Shut your bitch ass up. Your ancestors had it better than you. They were better than you. There's a test I got, right? I would love for y'all to take it. I don't know how I would have to reformat it to be able to put it up here on the screen, but it's a test, y'all. From shit. It's 18 something. It's from the 1800s, right? And it's I think it's a test to go to the next grade, if I remember correct. Yeah. Eighth grade assessment test. Basically, an eighth grade test that you must pass to go to the ninth grade, right? And this is from the 1800s. Okay. I promise you, I bet anything, ain't none of you motherfuckers gonna pass that shit. None of you. With no help, can't use your phone, can't phone a friend, can't just with the competence, the knowledge that you have in your fucking head, and take that fucking test. Ain't that motherfucker gonna watch this video or it's in the chat that can pass that fucking test. I used to, it used to be hilarious to me. Motherfuckers got PhDs and I would print them off. I would print the test off, right? And just go around fucking with motherfuckers. I started with my aunt and uncle. Both of them got PhDs. Bougie than a motherfucker. Think they better than everybody else. Everybody's stupid. They so intelligent. All right, you motherfucker, egotistical motherfucker. Here, take this test from the 1800s to pass the eighth grade, Miss PhD. 80% of the questions they got fucking wrong, or just didn't answer because they didn't know that fucking answer. Well, I don't know what this. What do you mean you don't know? You telling me this test for eighth graders in the 18 fucking hundred? We like to look down on motherfuckers in the past like they were dumb or ignorant. They couldn't read and write. No, no, they were way more educated than us, way more knowledgeable than we are. We dumb as shit compared to them. Ain't the other way around. I'm gonna figure out a way to get that test up here, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's from the 1800s. Eighth grade final exam. That's what it actually was. Eighth grade final exam from the 1800s. I promise you, half the verbiage on there you won't even identify with. Like, what the fuck is what? Like we say mathematics and algebra and geometry and it say arithmetic. When the last time you heard the word arithmetic? Arithmetic. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm trying to tell you. That's my point though, Tony. Why are we buying land? Think about how dumb that is, Tony. We're buying land that we already had to do something that we already were doing. We're gonna go buy land, right? Build a house, start homesteading basically when we were already doing that. That's what our ancestors were doing, living off the land and living good. Nah, we don't want that. That's the old ways. We don't want that. We want to go live in the cities. It's jumping. It's this stuff happening. They got movie theaters. You know what I'm saying? They got drive-in movie theaters. Oh, they got the big screen in the big cities. Oh, they doing this and doing that. They got them flying things and all the technological advances and all that. Oh yeah, I want to go to the city. Let me sell this. But no, fuck that. Never sell the land. You need a couple dollars. If anything, you lease it. You lease the land out. You don't sell shit. First of all, you can't sell it. So it's easy to get it back. This is what I'm telling y'all. We about to get all our shit back. Because you can't sell land. You can only inherit it. Every religious book, the Bible, everything is inherited or is stolen. Those are only two options with land. You either inherit it or you steal it. And even if you steal it, guess what? It still ain't yours. If you all this fraudulent, I'm telling y'all how they got us. They got in our heads, right? And they got us to forget who the fuck we are, right? Think about what I'm saying. What I say earlier. The two movies I like to use to explain our situation is The Lion King and The Matrix. Now think about the movie The Lion King and think about what the fuck what y'all just seen right here live on this platform. Me and two other people have just told you that our stories are identical, right? And what happened in our family genealogy and over the years, the generations in our families, right? Identical. We are all Simba. Simba represents us. How are we living our lives? We Akuna Matata right now. Oh, like it's whatever. It's I'm just living life. Just it's whatever. Bitch, you eating bugs. The fuck are you talking about? You are eating, but you are a fucking lion. You are the king of the jungle, and you're uh you have become friends with your food, and you are now eating their food. You have taken on their diet. You have taken on their lifestyle. These motherfuckers are your food source, and you have made friends with them. They're not from where you're from. You're from Pride Rock. That's your land. That's your inheritance, your birthright. Why? Because you're the heir to the throne. But he forgot who the fuck he was. He's living this alternative lifestyle that isn't him. That's why when the girl came, I forgot her name, she like, what the fuck? What happened to you? Who are you? Like, what the fuck? Are you eating bugs and shit? You hanging out with pigs and shit? What the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? We need you. Get your bitch ass. You need to get your shit together, nigga. Bring your bitch ass back to Pride Rock. These hyenas fucking shit up. That's us. We gave the land up. Why? Because we were tricked. By who? Who tricked him? Who tricked him? His own people. Scar, his uncle, the dirty Moor, the boule. He a bitch. It's always the bitch ass, the ones that don't have the physical and mental. They just have the mental. They don't have the physical. Because if they did, they would just strong on me to take it from you. They can't. Because they're weak. So they do it through coercion, right? Diversion and coercion. Paperwork, contracts, agreements. That's the Masonic way, baby. So they get into these fraternal orders, right? They learn these different things and all this stuff. And then what do? They use it against us. They lie to our fucking face. Oh no, I'm just going to sell the land because you know this or that. I ain't gonna sell it all. I'm gonna just this, that, and the third. Woo, woo, woo. Next thing you know, they done sold everything. Shoot you some bullshit, still shooting you some bullshit. Because they know at the end of the day, what the fuck can you do about it? Nothing. There is something you can do about it, but you don't know what you can do about it. They do, but they not gonna tell you. You got to figure it out. So the fact that, like I said, in my family, the fact that I know what I know, I am a threat. I am a big threat. Not only because I know what they know, half of them, I know more than what the fuck they know. So their fastest move is too slow for me. I already know the play before you even run it. I can look at your formation and tell what you about to do. Yeah, he about to go straight up the middle. No, he not. He gonna pass. Shut up. He's running up the middle. They hike the ball. What? You run up the middle. I told you. Your fastest play ain't. It's too slow for me. Like I'm hip. That's why I'm a threat. And other men like me are a threat. Because what are we threatening? What are we a threat of? We're a threat of the current system and the current way in which things are being done and handled, right? The current status that certain people have, right? Because you can change your status at any time, your political status. You can correct it. And one day you can go from being a minor to being a major in full majority in one day, right? On paper, not in competency, but I'm just saying on paper. So the more we have conversations like this, the more we talk about things like this, um, my bad, y'all. I was going in, I ain't even reading the damn. Quick said, uh, Quick said, on my father's side, they sold land to the city and they made a park on it. So guess what, Quick? That's your park. Because I think what a lot of people don't understand is it's not about the fixtures, right? Anything built on top of the land is called a fixture. The fixtures don't matter, right? What matters is the land. People, I don't think people get that. Everybody's worried about ownership. Oh, I want to own a house. I want to own my own home. No, you goofy motherfucker. You want to own the land. You want to have a allodial title to the land. Therefore, nobody, no government agency, nobody can come fuck with you. And if they do, you can blow their fucking brains out. They trespassing. It's a difference between knowing your rights, right, and being able to enforce your rights. It's a difference between having rights and not having. Tell you, boy, I'm getting hella phone calls today. Toyo in the bill. Salute, salute. My bad, y'all. Let me run through this chat real quick. You don't need no damn vacation, Tony. You don't need no vacation. Fuck the cities. I'm gonna tell you why. I ain't gonna go into depth, but I'm gonna just say this: why I say fuck the cities. The cities are literally the townships. They are the first jurisdictions. That's the HQ, or that's the satellite operations, right, for the crown. Military operations. That's the zip codes, right? So once you know what's really going, that's why I say fuck the cities, the city limits, right? Because that's where the ordinances kick in. That's when the law, that's when all the corporate bullshit kicks in. When you enter the city limits, because that's their jurisdiction. And what they did, they branched outside of that and started taking over and telling motherfuckers what they can and can't do, which caused us to do what? Move further away, because it's all our land, right? So they're just blocking us off and pushing us further out away from this, right, from the city or the city limits, and then at the same time increasing the city limits, which is doing what? Eating up more of our land. So they're just pushing us further and further back on our own acreage and expanding what? The city limits. What is the city? That's the jurisdiction, the corporate jurisdiction. That's why I say fuck the cities. Toy, you're crazy as shit. Ballin', salute, salute. So everybody that's coming in now, y'all just gonna have to run it back, man. 'Cause this was a good one today. It's an interesting topic. Most of the topics moving forward is gonna be a little more. Uh, I don't know how to say it. Um, I'm not gonna say controversial. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna say a lot of the topics moving forward for men at work, right, are gonna be a little more controversial to certain demographics or certain people, right? But that's what I want. I want to ruffle feathers. I want to have those uncomfortable conversations because this is the time that it needs to happen, right? We are at an all-time low. I'm gonna ask this question, and I already know the answer. It's a hypothetical, y'all. When's the last time y'all had a family reunion? And when I say a family reunion, I ain't talking about just grandma and her offspring. I'm talking about the whole gang. I'm talking about everybody. If you got my last name, you got this T-shirt on, and we up under this pavilion eating hot dogs and hamburgers, smoking, drinking. You know what I'm saying? Playing ball. Y'all know how it used to be back in the day. When the last time y'all had one of those? Tony, somebody did do it. Tony, I told you, look up Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali. CM Bay. There's a trust for us right now, right? And it will be up in 2030, right? He said, I have given you, this is his, I'm this is his words. I have given you everything needed to save a nation. Now take it and save yourselves. If he gave us, and I just recently broke that cipher. I just recently fully understood what he was saying. If I'm giving you everything you need to save an entire fucking nation, he's telling you take it and save your fucking selves. I did the fucking work, you lazy ass niggas. I did the fucking work. Now take it and save your fucking self. Why you can't do why you just do the work? Why you ain't just do everything? Like take it and save yourselves. There's a trust that is set up right now for our benefit. We have no clue about it. Most of us don't even know who the fuck Noble Drew Ali is. And he literally caused the Great Depression. What him and CM Bay did at that conference in Cuba caused the Great Depression. Go look it the fuck up. Make y'all motherfuckers work. Y'all gonna read, goddamn it. That's what we getting back to. Put them goddamn phones down. Fuck that Kindle. Fuck that talk to text shit or whatever the fuck. Open a book and fucking read, because that's what we getting back to. We gonna have to get back to that because everything's going digital. And if they decide to cut all this shit off, we fuck. We're all in books. You ain't got no books now. That's why I'm in the process of trying to get at least paperbacks of all, or print off all of this shit that I got PDFs on top of PDFs on top of PDFs on top of PDFs. I got hella books, all types of shit, right? But it's in digital form. So if I can't access that, then I ain't got shit. Yes, I still had paper, hard copy, hardback and paper, actual books. But I'm saying I want everything. Do y'all realize that our ancestors, none of you would never go into any of our houses, right? And not see a library. Most of the times the library was bigger than your kitchen. That was like the biggest room in the house was your library. We got to get back to that. It's rare that I even see a book, fuck a library, just a book in a nigga house. Shit, niggas don't even have magazines, no. You won't even see the jet or the ebony in the motherfucking house no more. Like, Motherfuckers don't read shit. Don't even want to read the instructions on, you know what I'm saying, how to put some shit together. Oh, I know how to put a dresser together. I don't need no damn instruction. I don't need that shit. Dresser lopsided in a motherfucker. Only 4 drawers work. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do better, y'all. We gotta do better. I ain't talking no sovereign citizen stuff, Tony. And look up sovereign citizen. Look that up. Who started that? Where does that come from? And it's an oxymoron because you can't be sovereign and be a citizen. That's some bullshit. That's more propaganda. Everything that we talking about is related to the topic. I just use racism as the umbrella because that's the biggest one that they use. It's all social engineering, all of it. Sovereign citizen is literally an oxymoron. You can't be, it's impossible to be, if you look up the definition of the word sovereign and then the word citizen, you can't put them two together. You can't be sovereign and be a citizen. You got to be one or the other. You can be sovereign and you can also be a citizen, but you can't be a sovereign citizen. Two different jurisdictions. Um, but yeah, that's some shit they made up, Tony. That's some bullshit they made up, try to throw us off. But at the end of the day, I said what I said. Y'all go do your homework. Y'all probably didn't do your homework from yesterday. It is what it is. It is what it is. But like I said, I'm gonna try to find that test because that shit is hilarious to me, y'all. I'm telling y'all, see that test, or y'all can Google it. If you Google it, it should pop up. I don't think it's multiple tests. If you Google, hold on. Let me look at my phone real quick. Hold on, y'all. Y'all can go look it up yourself. I know ain't near one of you gonna pass it. 1,500. I think this is it. Hold on, let me see. Yep, found it. It's the 18. You can Google it, y'all. It's 1895 eighth grade final exam, and it should come up. They got the it's in PDF form. 1895 eighth grade final exam. The first thing it said up top is what it took to earn an eighth grade education in 1895. Now, what I think is hilarious, right, is that we we'll be like, oh, my grandfather only had a seventh, sixth, seventh, eighth grade education, and we think we smarter than them. We think they was dumb, but they was damn near illiterate because they didn't finish school. I want y'all to look that shit up and take that test and see how dumb your ass is, and how much more competent our grandparents and great grandparents were compared to our goofy asses with this bullshit ass public school system. Who say the letter fake, Tony? It's got his seal on it. If you look up the official letter, not the because a lot of people don't revise it and you know rewrote it and all this other shit. I have a copy of the official letter, right? So they faked this thing. So somebody made a fake. The Pope, who is the Don, who runs the whole fucking show, right? There's no president, there's no dictator, there's no leader, there's no government official, no general. There's no man on this earth that is above the Pope in their system, right? All of them kneel and kiss the ring. All of them. So you mean to tell me that he would allow someone to make a fake letter and send it to Obama, or that they would maybe Obama didn't even get it. They just somebody just created a letter and say that the Pope sent it to Obama. Civil orders letter at that. And it's not true, it's fake, and he's just gonna allow that to stand. And if you read it with the information that's in it, all of it's true. All of it's true. And we're living the results of that letter. If you read that letter, and then you look at since 2014 to now, everything that's in that letter has taken place. Tony, ain't no such thing as conspiracies no more, brother. Things, everything. Put it like this, Tony. Everything from our childhood that we were told was conspiracy theorists, or it was a conspiracy, or that's just a theory, or that's not real, that's a lie. All that shit turned out to be true. The exact people that told us it wasn't true are now telling us that it is true. Now they telling us it's aliens. Now they want to release all this information, all these FBI documents, and all this shit. With Freedom of Information Act and all this other shit. Now, oh, the aliens are real. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit no more. Don't give a fuck about no goddamn aliens. Motherfuckers is broke, struggling, fucking paying $10 for fucking a gallon of gas. Ain't nobody worried about no fucking aliens. Them aliens got some free gas. Let me get one of them spaceships then, nigga, so I can drive that shit around. Is it solar powered? Is the Grays they got something that a Tesla, a spaceship Tesla? Since they getting all this knowledge from them, like what the fuck are we talking about? Like this is why I say these people are insane. They're fucking insane. Who gives a fuck about some aliens? niggas is fucked up out here. Ain't nobody give a fuck about no goddamn aliens. But like I said, Tony, most of the shit that they said that was a conspiracy or it's this or it's a lie, this or that shit turned out to be true. Out of their own mouths, they'll come back and say that it's true. No, Tony, I'm not saying that people aren't making up lies and think there aren't conspiracies out here. But what I'm saying is, if it makes sense, it makes sense, right? That's what like I said the live yesterday, right? We got to start using our common sense again. A lot of this shit is bullshit. I said this yesterday. The majority of this shit is bullshit, but just because it's bullshit don't mean there ain't no truth in it. Most of the time, the bullshit is the truth, but they add the lies and the bullshit on top of it. So you got to pluck away all that. It's like a pizza, right? And it's a supreme pizza, but you don't like mushrooms. So you got to pluck all the mushrooms off. It was olives on here. You got to pluck all the olives off. So you have to take all the bullshit off before it's edible for you. That's all I'm saying. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just see things for what the fuck it is. If it applies, let it fly. If it don't make sense, if it don't benefit you, fuck it. Leave it the fuck alone. Leave it the fuck alone. But I done figured this shit the fuck out. Like how we got to this point, right? So it's certain things that I be telling y'all to look into because I know it's gonna give you clarity on what the fuck is going on in the current times right now, current events. It's another son too, Tony. That's what I say, Tony. Tony, you've been rocking with me long enough, bro. You know some of these rabbit holes, Tony. I just assume that they're endless because I've been down them and I got lost in them, right? And almost lost myself trying to make my way out of them motherfucking rabbit holes, right? So it's some people that go down them, they never come out. They never come out. That's why I don't judge people. When people see motherfuckers on the street talking crazy and shit, he not crazy. He just stuck in his head. He down in one of them rabbit holes. And he crying out for help. He's in a rabbit hole in his mind and he's crying out for help because he down there hungry, cold, scared, you know what I'm saying, alone, and don't know which way to go. Do I keep going down? Do I leave back out? I done came so far, probably I don't know. The answer might be right around this corner, but I don't know. Then they lose themselves. They start tripping, end up in the fucking nut house on medication. That's why I be telling y'all, don't if you not fully dedicated, right, to answering the questions that are burning in your soul, leave it the fuck alone. Leave it the fuck, because a lot of times we think we want to answer to something, right? And we start digging, and the more we dig, the more we uncover. It's like, I don't know. I don't think I should have started digging, but it's too late. You can't unfind what you found. You can't unsee what you've seen. And now, so now that you know, what you found, it's something in you just like, I got to keep digging. What else is now here? So if you ain't ready for that journey, and it's for everybody. I'm not just talking to you, Tony. I'm talking about everybody. Like, I'm serious, Tony. Like, if you ain't ready for that journey, leave that shit the fuck alone. That's why I don't even the stuff that I tell y'all to read or look up is stuff that currently in your current state in your life that you can use, right, to your benefit. It can give you a better understanding of what the fuck is going on and how all this shit affects you and what you can do about it, right? So when you see the news or when you hear certain shit happening or they about to do this or that or they bomb this person, you know what the fuck is going on. You know why I said, oh, and another one for y'all to look up. This one more. Um, it's called the King Alfred Plan. Code code word. Look up either King Alfred Plan or what's the other name for Rex 84. REX 84 or the King Alfred Plan. Or just put both in there. King Alfred Plan Rex 84 and it should come up. And this is the one that predated. I think the updated version of that is I, I forgot what it's called, y'all, because I was on a live the other day talking to somebody about it. Um, but it's I appreciate it. Um, but anyway, I'm about to eat. I'm hungry. Y'all barbecue on that. But look that test up, y'all. I'm serious. Y'all don't look up nothing else. Look up that test. Look up that test. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. If you can get, if you can get, trying to be realistic. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. I was gonna say 5 questions. There ain't none of y'all gonna get 5. If you can get two, mm, if you can get 2 questions right without uh having excuse me, use your phone. If you can get at least 2 questions right without having to use your phone or look for anything outside of your fucking brain to answer those 2 questions on that test, I would be surprised. I don't trust none of you motherfuckers to be honest, because I know somebody gonna Google all that shit, AI the whole test. I passed the whole thing. Fuck you talking about? But honestly, I haven't met anybody since I came in contact with the test. I haven't met anybody that could pass it just with their intellect, just with what they know, without needing help or having to, research nothing. But it's a good bill, man. But yeah, man. Um, it's propaganda. Stop falling for the propaganda, y'all. Stop falling for the bullshit. That's the hook I be telling. When I say watch out for the hook, it's not. It's literal and it's it's subliminal. You know what I mean? Watch out for all the hooks because they throwing them. They throwing them. They throwing lefts and rights. Watch out for the hook. But yeah, man, let me get up off of here, man. Love y'all, appreciate y'all, man. Um, but we gotta do better. Stop selling the land. Stop killing each other. We got to go back to the old days, man. I'm with it. I'm already doing it. Fruits, vegetables. Only thing I ain't never done is livestock. And I'm about to start. I'm gonna start small. Start with me some chickens. You know what I'm saying? Give me some little. I don't even want no chicken. Chickens ain't real. I think I'm gonna start with quail. I'm gonna try some quail eggs. I've been looking into that. They say they're better for you anyway. So like quail, you know, um, do like my ancestors, like my granddaddy did. Quails, guinea, you know. Um, maybe have some chickens, to eat or to sell the eggs. Get some goats. I'm starting simple, small. I don't want no big shit, no cows and all that shit. That's too much work. Some little simple shit. But yeah, I'm rambling, y'all. Yeah, rabbits, but simple shit. Something small, I can maintain on my own, and scale up from there. It's a process, but we got to do it, man, because it's getting to the point where it's whether we want to or not, that's what it's going to be, right? We're getting back to that, so I just keep that in mind, man. Give y'all the heads up. What he saying, Wolf of Wall Street? It's like getting it on Disney before Disney was Disney. Yeah, man. Y'all be safe, man. And I'll let y'all in the AM. Peace. No, I ain't eating no damn pigs, Dre. Peace. Y'all be safe. This nigga always playing.